Hello students, today's topic is contamination, preservation and spoilage of meat and meat products. Okay, then coming to the contamination of meat and meat products, the healthy inner flesh of the meat contain few or no microorganisms, although some microbes are found in lymph node, bone marrow and rarely in the flesh. Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Clostridium and Salmonella are found in the lymph nodes of the red meat animals, and the normal slaughtering practices would remove the lymph nodes from edible parts. Major contamination of the meat and meat products comes from the external sources during the bleeding, handling, and processing, and also during bleeding, skinning, and cutting. The main sources of the microorganisms are the exterior of the animals. So, as we all know, healthy inner flesh of the meat contains only very few, or some days they will not contain any microorganisms, that is they are devoid of the pathogens or the microorganisms. But few species of microorganisms are found in the lymph nodes, bone marrow, and rarely in the flesh of animals. And the examples of such species are the Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Clostridium, etc. And usually the normal slaughtering practices would remove the lymph nodes from the edible parts, and the major contamination of the meat occurs from the external sources during the processing of the bleeding, handling, and processing. And during the bleeding, skinning, and cutting, the main source of the microorganisms are the exterior of the animal. Then coming to the preservation, we know that meat is the most perishable food, and hence the preservation of this meat and meat products is more difficult compared to other food products. And so we are practicing the preservation by combination of the different available preservation techniques. In order for the complete preservation of the meat and meat products, we require the combination of one or more preservation techniques, and usually water spraying of the animal helps to remove the dirt and other impurities, and thereby help to prevent the contamination to some extent. And also the maintenance of the proper hygienic practices is also another method we have to follow in order to reduce the contamination of the meat and meat products. Okay, then coming to the different techniques used for the preservation are the asepsis, use of heat, use of low temperature, use of irradiation by drying, and also by the use of different preservatives. So simply, asepsis is the keeping away of microorganisms, that is by following proper hygienic conditions and maintaining proper precautionary measures, we can keep away the microorganisms from food materials to certain extent. And the second one is the use of heat, that is canning is an important method used for the preservation of the meat and meat products. Canning can be of two types, that is in first method we can completely destroy the microbes, and such canned food can be stored long term without refrigeration. And in the second method we are destroying only the pathogens. In such cases, such canned products must be kept in refrigerators for the long term use. Next is the use of low temperature, that is a commonly used methods like chilling, freezing, etc. can be employed for the storage of the meat and meat products. Then coming to use of irradiation, gamma rays and also UV rays can be employed for the preservation of the meat and meat products. And also the simplest method, that is by drying. Example like sausage preparation, by drying also we can store the meat and meat products. Then next is the use of different preservatives, that is simply by adding salt and drying we can store the beef or like the meat and meat products for long term storage. And then by adding different preservatives like sodium chloride, sugar, sodium nitrate, vinegar, etc., can also be preserve the meat and meat products. And also the smoking can also be employed for the use of mm, can also be employed for the storage of the meat and meat products. And also the use of different spices are also employed in order to preserve the different meat and meat products. And in some cases antibiotics like tetracycline, niacin or chloramphenicol are also used as a preservatives for the long-term storage of the meat and meat products. Then coming to the spoilage of the meat and meat products, first, what is the spoilage? By definition, we can say that spoilage is a process in which the food deteriorates and produces undesirable changes in the product and becomes unsuitable for the human consumption. That is, a spoilage is a process in which the food will be deteriorated and produced undesirable changes and thereby becomes unsuitable for the human consumption. Then what is this microbial spoilage? A number of microorganisms are responsible for the spoilage of the meat and meat products, and when they break, the different components of the food items, acids and other waste products will be created, and sometimes the microbes itself may or may not be harmful, but the metabolites or the waste items produced by them will impart an unpleasant taste and color to the food, and which is also harmful to the human health. So the spoilage or the unfavorable changes in the food produced by the microorganisms are known as the microbial spoilage, and they will break the different components of the food items. Then acids and other waste products will be created, and thereby the food becomes unsafe for human consumption. Then how this microbial spoilage occurs? The normal slaughtering techniques is an important source which will add to the contamination of the meat and meat products, and also external sources like blading, handling, skinning, cutting and processing, and also the intestinal tracts of animals and exterior of animals are also important sources of these contaminating microorganisms. And also the knives, clothes, air and hand and even the clothing of the workers are also the sources. And also depending on the method of slaughtering, such as mechanical, chemical or electrical, also the rate of contamination varies, and usually the deep animal tissue is very sterile, and the main area of concern is tissues near the surface of the carcass and also the old muscle cut. Okay, and so the normal contamination of these meat and meat products occurs during the slaughtering techniques or even during the bleeding, handling, etc. And also the intestinal tract and exterior of the animals are also good source of these microbial contaminants, and even the different equipments using during the slaughtering process will also act as a source of contaminant. Usually the deep animal tissue is sterile, but the main area of concern is the tissue near the surface of the carcass and the old muscle cuts. Then coming to the meat spoilage, the raw meat starts deteriorating by its own enzymes and the microorganisms, and chemically oxidize the fat present in them. And the autolysis changes include some proteolytic action on the muscles and tissues and result in the hydrolysis of fat. And then coming to the invasion of the tissue by microorganism, the invasion of the tissue by contaminating microorganisms takes place immediately after the death of the animals, and the factors which affect this invasion include the microbial load of the gut of the slaughtered animal, the health and the physical condition of the animal before the slaughtering process, and also the methods used for slaughtering and breeding, and the rate of cooling of the animal. So the raw meat will immediately start deteriorating by the action of its own enzymes and the microorganisms, and then chemically oxidize the fat present in them. And then the autolysis changes include some proteolytic action on the muscles and tissues and will result in the hydrolysis of fat. And then coming to the invasion of the tissue by the microorganisms, we know that the invasion of the tissue by the contaminating microorganisms takes place after the death of the animals, and it is influenced by the microbial load of the gut of the slaughtered animal, the health and the physical condition of the animal before the slaughtering, and also the different methods we are adopting for the slaughtering and breeding, and also the rate of cooling or even the temperature of the animal. Then coming to the growth of the microorganisms in meat, meat is an ideal food for a number of microorganisms because of its high moisture content, richness in nitrogenous components, high amount of minerals and various growth factors, and also it contains many fermentable carbohydrate and also a favorable pH range which suits most of the contaminating microorganisms. So once the pathogen or the microorganisms enter into the meat, then the meat, which is an ideal food for number of microorganisms, will facilitate the growth of the pathogens because meat is a rich in nitrogenous compounds, high amount of minerals and various growth factors, and also have high moisture content which favor the growth of the pathogens, and also it contains fermentable carbohydrate and also have a favorable pH which suits most of the contaminating microorganisms or the pathogens. And coming to the factors influencing the growth of microorganisms, so one is the kind and amount of the contamination, then the spread of these microorganisms in this meat or the spreading rate, and also the common physical properties and the chemical properties of the meat, then and the availability of oxygen and the temperature of the animals are the major factors that influence the growth of the microorganism. Coming to the different types of spoilage of meats by microorganisms, spoilage can be widely classified as the spoilage which takes place under aerobic condition and those under anaerobic condition. Then coming to the aerobic conditions, bacteria may cause the following. That is, first one is the surface line growth, which is caused by the species of Pseudomonas, Acinetobacter, Bacillus, etc., and also causes changes in the color of the meat pigment. Normally, the red color is of the meat called bloom will be changed to the shades of green, brown, gray as a result of the production of oxidizing compounds like hydrogen peroxide or hydrogen sulfide, and the organisms lactobacillus and the lichenostox are mainly responsible for this color change. So coming to the normal spoilage under aerobic condition, first example is the surface line formation, and the major causative species are the Pseudomonas, Acinetobacter, Bacillus, etc. And the another visible change is a change in the color of the meat pigment, and it is mainly mainly due to the production of the oxidizing compound like hydrogen peroxide or hydrogen sulfide by the microbes. And examples of such species are the lactobacillus and the leuconostoc. Next is the off odor and off taste. Taints of the undesirable odor and off taste that appear in meat is due to the production of the volatile acids like formic acid, butyric acid, etc., and or by the action of the microorganism. In case if it is having a musty or earthy flavor, then will be the meat will be contaminated with the actinomycetes. Then coming into the aerobic growth of mold, the aerobic growth of mold will cause stickness, that is the surface becomes sticky, or black spot which is caused by the Cladospore herbaceum, white spot caused by the Sporotrichum cranis, green patches by the different Penicillia species like the Penicillia expansum and the Penicillia oxalicum, and also will lead to the decomposition of fat. Many mold will produces the lipases and cause the hydrolysis of fat. Then coming to the spoilage under anaerobic conditions, the facultative and anaerobic bacteria can be able to grow within the meat under anaerobic conditions and also will lead to the spoilage. The following changes occur under anaerobic conditions. First one is the soaring. It imparts a sour taste to the meat due to the acids such as the formic acid, propionic acid, acetic acid, etc. And although meat's own enzymes are responsible for this souring. And the next one is the putrefaction. It is the anaerobic decomposition of the protein with the production of some foul-smelling compounds like hydrogen sulfide, indole, ammonia, etc. And the common species is the Clostridium species, which is responsible for this putrefaction. Then coming to taints or undesirable odor and taste that appear. The Clostridium species have been associated with the production of large amount of gas in vacuum packaged beef, which is accompanied by foul odors. And in case of the pasteurized canned product, the main contaminants are the Bacillus, Clostridium enterococci, and some heat-resistant lactic acid bacteria. And in case of refrigerated canned product, the main contaminant is the Streptococcus species. Thank you.